It's Friday, the 3rd of May, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1, National Australia Bank has announced a 13% drop in cash profit to $3.6 billion for the 6 months to the end of March, but its business banking arm is booming. It's a lot of bees.
It is. NAB's the country's second largest bank, and the current half couldn't match the fantastic 6 months in late 2022, early 2023. That, of course, was a great time for the banks when rising interest rates were helping profits. However, this last half, the Melbourne-based bank did keep the dividend steady, and it also announced a $1.5 billion share buyback. The result wasn't as good as expected, but still NAB's share price ended the day nearly 1.5% higher. The reason? The strong performance of its business banking operations. NAB is the country's largest business bank. Business credit was up 9% over the past year, and the pipeline for loans is the strongest on record. The situation in the mortgage market isn't so positive. The rise in the number of loans sold through brokers rather than directly via branches is hurting profitability. In fact, about 2/3 of NAB mortgage loans are now coming from a broker, although the new boss CEO, Andrew Irvine, thinks things will get better in that mortgage market. Michael?
And Sean, what did Mr. Irvine say about the economy more broadly?
He said there are still large sectors of the economy doing really well, and there's an overemphasis in the media particularly on the difficulties in the economy and those that are struggling, the parts of the economy that are struggling, and an underemphasis on the bits that are doing well. The amount of business lending in the pipeline is a very positive sign. In fact, Mr. Irvine called it astonishing and proof that the economy is holding up well. In terms of sectors, mining and minerals, agribusiness, healthcare, defence and some manufacturing is doing pretty well.
Okay, on to story number 2 now. And supermarkets are going to find the next 12 months tough as rising rents, energy and insurance bills and little prospect of interest rate relief eat into consumers' pay packets.
And that could mean they cut spending at supermarkets, according to outgoing Woolies chief Brad Banducci. The comments didn't help Woolies' share price, which ended down 4% yesterday. Sales for the 3 months to the end of March grew by 1.5%. They're just not doing as well as arch rival Coles. The Australian food business was up a bit over 1%. Big W fell, though, particularly around clothing and homewares. Mr. Banducci, who leaves the job later this year, said shoppers were coming in more frequently to stores to buy items on promotion, but every time they visited, they didn't spend quite as much. In the retail wars, or the supermarket wars at the moment, Coles seems to have the upper hand over Woolies.
Story number 3, Rio Tinto held its annual general meeting yesterday in Brisbane, and the board and management weren't saying anything about whether the WA-based miner was interested in having a tilt at Anglo American.
There's plenty of speculation that since BHP bid for Anglo and was rejected, other buyers would come out of the woodwork. The two most often mentioned are UK-based Glencore and Rio Tinto. Rio is overly reliant on overall, and its asset base is pretty old, so the miner needs to do something. Anglo, according to analysts, would be a good fit for Rio. Now, Rio's chair, Dominic Barton, was asked directly about Anglo. He said he won't speculate or comment on M&A activity. Very straight bat, doesn't tell us anything. Otherwise, he did say that Rio will increase production at its underground copper mine in the Gobi Desert in Mongolia. The mine's 1.3 kilometres below the surface. It's actually connected by around 200 kilometres of tunnels. Quite amazing. Rio spent about $15 billion to develop the site. Production's now ramping up.
Story number 4, it was a horror day yesterday for Autobahn owner Bapcor. Its share price tumbled 25% yesterday after it downgraded its profit guidance.
In fact, it's been a horror week. On Monday, the incoming CEO quit 2 days before starting, which the chair described as disappointing. That's somewhat of an understatement. Now, the company has said annual profit will be down as much as $32 million from last year, triggering the massive sell-off yesterday. Conditions in the retail business were suffering from weak consumer confidence and lower levels of discretionary spending. Bapcor said the company's wholesale business is being impacted by competitive pricing. It's better than before cost-out program ain't working so well. The interest rate costs are higher. There's also possible goodwill and asset write-down in the offing as a result of the underperformance. Bad day all around for Bapcor.
Yes, certainly was. Story number 5, last one. Sean, the coffee world is changing. As the cost of living bites, Starbucks has reported a fall in coffee sales, while turnover of Nestlé's instant brew has surging.
The inference in what you just said is that Starbucks is a premium coffee, Nestle isn't. Maybe that's true. Depends on who you ask, though. Anyway, Starbucks share price is down 26% since November last year on the back of a 7% drop in US sales and a 4% fall in China. It has well and truly underperformed the market. Compare that to Nestle, which has reported sales of instant coffee growing at twice the speed of the overall coffee category itself. People are buying more instant coffee. The 50-cent coffee is winning out over the $5 coffee, irrespective of taste, Michael.
Irrespective of taste. I like that, Sean. There we go, the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Friday, the 3rd of May, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.